Resident Evil 2 again. 10 years of Resident Evil continues. Dun dun dun. Wow. Alright. So let's get into it. Ain't no sense wasting time. So we're doing the Leon B, continuing from Claire A yesterday. God, I love the Dreamcast. Like, emulation, super convenient, but fuck, Dreamcast was so fun to play on.
Outbreak in Raccoon City. Claire Redfield succeeded in escaping from the city.
Where did I put my stream alerts?
Other survivors.
Over there.
A young girl named Sherry. However, behind their escape was the lone survivor of the Raccoon
Let's move that, I forgot about it.
Leon S. Kennedy.
There we go. Alright. Move my drink there. Yes. So,
What have we got here?
Resident Evil 2 Leon B. Honestly, what is there to really say about this? I've done it so many times on stream.
Guy's a maniac.
Why do you bite me?
Man, what a mess. What could have done this?
Yeah, I've done this so many times on stream.
What was that?
It's actually,
What are these things?
discussing it with Flame in his stream yesterday. Like, once I'm done with the 10 years of Resident Evil, I'm probably going to not play any of this again for a while. Although, in all honesty, like, before this 10 years of Resident Evil series, it had been kind of a while since I'd done Resident Evil, with the exception of Village, which I hadn't played before.
What's up with that guy? That was a clean hit. I'm running out of ammo here.
Wait! Don't shoot!
Get down!
I do really appreciate seeing both sides of
It'll be
this,
a lot safer.
like, without it intercutting between the two. I think it's a really nice idea.
There! Buckle up.
Okay. Okay.
What's going
Bum,
on?
bum, bum,
I
bum,
arrived
bum,
in
bum,
town,
bum, bum,
and the
bum.
whole place went
Great.
insane.
The radio's out.
You're a
Instead of
cop.
a radio being out, you should have been playing like a classic
First day
Capcom
on the
track.
job. Great.
Like
huh?
Flashman or
Leon
something.
Kennedy. Nice to meet you.
Mine's Claire Redfield. I came to find my brother Chris.
Or something from Ghosts and Goblins would be kind of appropriate. I guess Resident Evil never really did much referencing of other Capcom series,
Open the glove box.
Sure.
unlike other Capcom series.
There's a gun inside.
Like Mega Man itself, like referenced Ghosts and Goblins in Mega Man 7. There's that trick you can do to have Shade Man stage play the Ghosts and Goblins theme. Dead Rising, of course, has a bunch of it.
Okay.
Like the Mega Man costume, the Zero costume. I'm sure there's a Mega Man X costume. I'm sure there's Arthur boxers somewhere in one of the Dead Rising games. And then Dead Rising 4 had the whole Frank's Big Package DLC re-release thing. Whereas, like, yeah, Dead Rising 4 is such a bland game, the only thing we can think of to try and appeal to people is to make Frank West dress as various Capcom women. Alright, so let's do this. Let me open the water. Alright, so in general, B scenario is usually quicker. I think what I'll do is I will leave the alternate costume in this run, and we'll get the costume in Leon A. A good idea? I don't know. There's supposed to be music playing here? No, I messed that up. Is the courtyard team supposed to play here? Interesting fun fact about Resident Evil on GameCube. It turns out like RE2 and RE3 had a music bug, which is... it was only noticed with Dolphin. And like what the cause of that ended up being was the music was like badly compiled in like just in the disc. But through a completely coincidental set of instructions, the bug itself on actual GameCube hardware was overridden by a different bug. But Dolphin didn't emulate that second set of instructions, so it led to the music bug actually being a proper thing in Dolphin. Kinda crazy. Just like the whole thing of game emulation, code in various different things, it's absolutely fascinating to see some of this stuff. And it's always cool to see how many other people are interested in that kind of thing as well. Like, she says on YouTube, with his Boundary Break series, which I haven't watched in a while. I should probably watch some of his newer episodes. And, like, dude's done really well. A lot of people are interested in that, and that's really cool. Get off. This will be quicker if I just grab the valve handle and run past Mr. X. And then grab the shotgun when we actually go to open the doors downstairs. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. Come on, can we get out? Can we get out? Ah. Would have been great if we could get out before that guy got there. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Grab that herb on the way past. One thing I'd love to know more about is why the Dreamcast version of RE2 and RE3 ended up the way they did. Because, like, console-wise, these are the definitive versions. There it is. Because, like, you think it'd be the GameCube versions, and it's not. GameCube versions are very basic ports from PlayStation. I think they have slightly higher resolutions. I've heard the loading times are a little quicker in GameCube, but I can't confirm that. But like, overall, like, the Dreamcast versions are just better. Like, full-screen FMVs, the exclusive content. Like, Dreamcast RE3 gets all the costumes available from the start, you just pick them, and one of those costumes is exclusive. RE2 gets like a full concept art gallery that you unlock when you beat the scenarios. I've never seen anywhere else. That's probably nothing. I'm gonna end up taking a hit here. Getting past Mr. X in this corridor is really tricky without taking him down. Yep, there it is. Alright, that's fine. So it would be worth getting past these lickers now. Itch. Because there is an item in here that I need. It's the key card. It's worth getting past these lickers now because I have to get past these lickers now. Grab that because once I grab the key card, a licker's going to drop through the skylight. Just ignore it because we never... No, we do have to come back here, don't we, to put the jewels in. Hey, legendary Screamer Foxhound Cat. This was a bad idea. I can't believe I didn't take damage there. How you doing, Cat? Just gonna pick you up. I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna put some stuff in the box. You go 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 in the box. When's the next cutscene? Okay, so Leon can ignore the unicorn medal. So he doesn't need the spade key in B scenario. So we'll ignore that to save a little time. Let me into despair. Hey, Clemente, how you doing, buddy? Surprise, motherfucker. You've missed most of the run. It's going. Took a little more damage than I would have liked so far, but, you know, it's going. I'm working on making this an actual quick run. It's like trying to optimize routes, ignore unnecessary stuff. I'm trying to do this one quick. And if we end up like sub 135, I will be very happy. You son of a bitch. How you doing, Clem? How did Mario RPG go? Shout yourself out, Clem. I would do it, but I'm playing Resident Evil 2. Fortunately, there's an herb right here. Thank you, Clem. Check out Clem Hazard, he plays video games sometimes. It went great! I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos. Thank you so much for playing my game. Clem, when are you playing other Mario games? That's what I said, legendary streamer, Foxhound Cat. Oh, Cat, might be of relevance to you because I don't know if you're in the Discord. We're gonna be starting Snake Eater after 10 years of Resident Evil. Thanks for shouting Cat out, Clem. What a thrill, with darkness and silence in the night. Go. Yeah, the link's right, but like, what was the last thing Cat was playing? It's a Saturday, so like, what would it have been, like Dead by Daylight? Excellent. How many sessions does that make it, Clem? Like, 4? 4 sessions? That's good for RPG. Oh, recommendation for you, Clem, if you want to do another RPG at some point that isn't going to take you a long time, OG Suikoden. Like, that is not a long RPG, it's like 15 hours or so. Yakuza tonight. Oh, fun fact, I bought all the Yakuza games on PC this week. Except... Like a Dragon. Every Yakuza game that's on PC I bought this week. Which is good, because I didn't actually own 3, 4, and 5 remastered. I own 4 and 5, I didn't own 3. And I didn't own any of the remasters. So buying them on PC is good. So eventually when I get back to doing Yakuza myself, we'll be doing 2, and then it'll be 3 remaster, 4 remaster. I'll have to break out the PS3 for Dead Souls. Oh yeah, Clem raided. I'm supposed to introduce myself with a raid, aren't I? I never end up doing that. And hello, I am mecha-chrono. I play video games. I play a lot of RPGs, I play non-RPGs as well. We're currently in the middle of a point redemption. Our good friend of the stream, Teak the Gamer, who has just popped into chat, redeemed... Thanks, Cat. It's always appreciated. Redeemed the 10 years of Resident Evil series. And so, for the next couple of weeks, we are playing through every Resident Evil game released between 1996 and 2006. We're currently on Game 2, Resident Evil 2, and we are playing the Dreamcast version. On PC, on an emulator. Not because I don't have it, just because it's more convenient for me to use emulation for it. I've played this off like actual Dreamcast on stream plenty of times. I fucking love it. Yeah, in relation to that, we do also have a new point redemption in the point redemptions to replace the 10 years of Resident Evil. It is the history of stylish action. There, I just do. Tempted to redeem it right now just for giggles. We'll be doing MGS3 between like the end of this and the history of stylish action, though.
Hey, wait!
You people don't spend your points enough. But yeah, I increased the point cost for that last night because I was thinking about it. And it's like, you know, 100,000 is not enough of a cost for that.
Leon!
Because you're going to be getting like over 10 games.
Claire, you made it.
Because that's going to be like all 6 Devil May Cry games, Bayonetta 1 and 2,
Around here?
Metal Gear Rising,
Yeah.
Vanquish is going to be in there.
Who is she?
Chances are Beautiful Joe 1 and 2, maybe God
It's
Hand,
too dangerous for her to stay here alone. Leon?
possibly some other stuff.
You go and find us a way out of here.
Killer is Dead
Of course.
was brought up
Before
as a
I forget,
possibility.
Here's a radio.
Which, like, I've been wanting to stream that to
That
begin
way
with
we can
anyway,
keep in
but
touch if something comes up.
like, good chance you'll be getting over 15 games for that. Oh, fuck. Biggest mistake of the run. That's why I didn't reload. It's gonna cost me more time to not have the custom handgun. But yeah, look forward to the history of stylish action whenever it's redeemed. Swear God, Seek, if you redeem it right now, it's gonna supersede the 10 years of Resident Evil. Which means we'll be cancelling the 10 years of Resident Evil to do the history of stylish action. You can go here, you can go with the others, you can go in the box. And let me get that smoke. I'm waiting for somebody else to make the investment. That's fair. Well, I was looking through a list of like what other people would call stylish action. Because like, I've got the core down, like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, most of Platinum's stuff, honestly. But it's like, would people count various other things as stylish action, like God Hand or Vanquish, or maybe even Okami? And TV Tropes had a page on it. And they counted stuff like Killer is Dead. Okami was in there. But they were also counting stuff like Marvel's Avengers, and I'm like, at that point, I'm not taking this list seriously. And also, I'm not going to play Marvel's Avengers for this channel. I'm not going to buy Marvel's Avengers. It looked so boring. If you want me to play an Avengers game, I'll play the Lego Avengers game. Because that was fun. Seriously, if you want like a solid if you want a solid Marvel game, check out the Lego Marvel series. Especially Lego Marvel Superheroes 1. It's a lot of fun. And like, it has a really fun story that encompasses most of the MCU. I'm sorry, not the MCU, the Marvel universe. Nobody cares about the MCU. Am I legally allowed to say that? Will I ever stream a Bomberman game on this channel? I might. It'd be like, which Bomberman game though? Because if I did, it would have to be like Bomberman Story Mode, and I've never done Bomberman Story Mode. I was always a Bomberman multiplayer guy. Oh, that's a dude. It's like, you give me any series, and I could say, like, if I could stream one game from it, which it would be. Bomberman's a weird one, because my experience with Bomberman is multiplayer. Well, a friend of mine and I used to like spend hours playing like Super Bomberman 3 when we were younger. It was a fun time. I do want a second small key. I don't need 3. I only need 2. I find Bomberman gets kind of repetitive, is my problem when doing that. So I picked up the heart key, yes. I don't need the shotgun when I've got the custom handgun. Not for this area. Yeah, like, you could name any series and I could pick out one game. Like, if I could only stream one game, which game I'd stream. Bomberman's a weird one. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience with the story modes. Like, is Bomberman Hero good? Is Bomberman 64 good? Bomberman Story? What about Bomberman Act Zero? Hey, how you doing, Kara? You have misunderstood. It's not one game series, it's one game from a series. Later, bitches. Eh. Oh no, dogs. I'm doing this slowly. We're Resident Evil at this point. Like, if I could only do one game from the Resident Evil series, I'm not sure what it would be now. Like, a couple of years ago I would have said like RE2, but at this point I've done RE2 so much. Like maybe OG RE3? But yeah, Clem, recommendation if you want like a nice short JRPG for yourself, OG Suikoden. It's like, you can do it in like 15 hours comfortably.
Sorry about that. When I saw the uniform, I thought you were another zombie.
Who are you?
Ada Wong.
And what are you doing here?
What are you doing
I'm
here,
looking for
Ada
some
Wong?
guy named Ben. He's one of those reporter types, always looking for a scoop. I heard he was locked up in the cell block, only there's a wrecked car barring the entrance. I've been trying to find another way inside. If we work together, we can move this thing. Give me a hand here, will you?
I need to get around to doing Suikoden for the stream. I've got it set up as like one of the follower rewards. Like when we hit 300 followers, I think. But like, God knows when that'll happen. If that'll happen. So I don't know, with some of those I might just be like, let's just stream them. Let's not wait for an arbitrary goal, let's just stream some of these games. Because like some of those games that I've got as follower goals are classic well, I suppose they're all classic RPGs. Like classic RPGs that I would like to do. Like sooner or later I'd be down to do FF1. FF2 is just a streaming
Let me guess.
obligation.
You must be Ben, right? Get up, now.
What do you want? I'm trying to sleep here.
Is this the guy?
Ben? You told the city officials that you knew something.
And then like we do
about
FF1
what's
and
been
I've got
going
to
on, didn't you?
choose
you
who
tell
in the
them?
chat is going to be part of my party.
And who the heck are you?
I'm trying to find my boyfriend. His name's John. He was working for a branch office of Umbrella, based in Chicago, but he suddenly disappeared 6 months ago. I heard a rumor that
That's
he's
going to be
here in
so
the
much
city.
easier when we do Final Fantasy VI.
I don't know anything.
It's like, oh yeah,
And even
who in
if
the
I
chat
did,
do we
why would I
name
wanna
as a
tell you?
character? Everybody. Name
Okay,
everybody
I
in the
say
chat
we
as a
leave him
character.
in there. Does
Because
anyone
there
know
are
where to
enough
put the key to
characters.
this cell?
I have it right here, officer. But I'm not about to leave this cell. Those zombies aren't the only things crawling around out there.
What was that?
Right on cue.
Like I said, I'm not.
What they don't
leaving this
realise is Ben's got a tape recorder in his pocket and he just
Get
pressed
out of
play
here
on it.
before you lead it right to me.
Hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm the only cop left alive in this building.
What?
Look, if you want to live, then you're gonna have to leave with me.
But do you even know how to get out of the city? There's a kennel in the back of the building. Inside the kennel is a manhole. Go through and it'll lead you to the sewer entrance, but it won't be easy.
Man, look at that
All
torso,
right,
it's just
I'm going.
not connected to his legs. Alright, let me just grab the manhole opener. I'm gonna use this on Clem. open Klim's manhole. Ben? Got a full model as your shoot top. No, like when he was turning it, like his torso was clipping through his legs really badly. I don't want to deal with the dogs. Like clipping badly enough and like turning independently of his legs. Spiders! Look, Kira! Spiders! Don't fucking spit on me. I don't need to go in there yet. You know, that makes me think, actually, thinking about that. I wonder when we'll get a mod for Spider-Man on PC that gives Spider-Man the extra arms.
Ada? I don't think I've introduced myself.
Like, you guys remember that bit in Spider-Man when, like, Spider-Man had, like, 4 extra arms? That was a weird bit of the cartoon when I was a kid. Because, like, it wasn't something that happened in one episode, it lasted longer. And that was such a weird idea as a kid. That stuff like that could last longer than an episode. Was that like a 5-part? Enderman. Enderman. How'd you do, I? See, you've met my faithful Enderman. He's just a little brought down because what you knocked. He thought you were the Candyman. To be fair, I think that's just a Marvel thing. Because the X-Men cartoon did a bunch of that as well. Like the Phoenix Saga was 5 episodes. The Dark Phoenix Saga was also 5 episodes. That was weird. To be fair, like that kind of thing is it's something that the Marvel TV shows undeniably had over the DC TV shows. Being willing to go for arcs that were that long. Which led to some absolutely phenomenal storytelling. I wish I could just not go to work and watch Spider-Man the Animated Series instead. The benefit of hindsight, Teak. Adaptations done years in the future that can just work those things. Like in the Ultimate Universe, how Kraven's introduction was a side part to Doc Ock's first appearance. I mean, but would you want to do it without me, Teak? Spider-Man, Spider-Man, radioactive spider-blood, 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 radioactive spider-blood. I always thought it was weird, though, in the Spider-Man crossover with the X-Men cartoon, how Spider-Man was very racist towards the mutants. Like, it was a weird thing for Spider-Man of all characters to have to get over prejudices. If we say run and gun, are we considering stuff like Contra? Like, is Contra the baseline we're going with? Yeah. Probably not. I mean, Mega Man is a very typical 2D side-scroll of the era. The only real difference versus other ones is that you have a gun as your primary form of attack, as opposed to like a whip or a sword or jumping on enemies.
Think fast. Here's one more.
But even then, with various robot master powers, the gun is often just not a gun.
I can't reach the ventilation hole. I'm going to have to find another way around. I'll catch up with you later.
What? Ada, wait!
A standard action side-scrolling platformer.
Leon, come in.
Like, I would absolutely categorize Mega Man in the same sense as like classic Castlevania.
Got it.
Could do with more handgun ammo. I want the shotgun. Well, that brings up the question, would you put Castlevania in the same category as Mario? And if we're going to get into that kind of semantics, I wouldn't actually put Mario in the same category as Sonic. Like, if we start doing like really specific strokes, then I wouldn't put them together. In broad strokes, they're the same. Yeah, that's how I classify Castlevania. So you might be sat there in the audience thinking, hey, Mecha's a Castlevania fan and has been noted to be a Castlevania fan on several occasions, and if you've been a long-time viewer, you might even be like, hey, Mecha did that Castlevania marathon once upon a time. When's he going to do another one? And the answer will be, I don't know. I don't honestly know. At some point, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do another marathon or rather like just do individual games here and there. I want to do Dawn of Sorrow on stream though. Like, actually do that properly. Dogs. Do this to get some ammo for my handgun. So that liquor got stunned with every shot, but the other one didn't at all. What the hell? I hate dealing with liquors. When's Chrono gonna do anything? When's Chrono gonna stream more Mega Man? I don't know, Mega Man Zero could be close. Its entire style changed. Mega Man Zero is good. And like, being able to properly enjoy Mega Man Zero on the Zero ZX Legacy Collection, absolutely fantastic. It's like, all the game needed was more checkpoints. I don't need it to be easier, I just want it to be less bullshit when I die. And so more checkpoints, Mega Man Zero is fun. It's got a good challenge to it that way. You know, thinking about it, like, out of all the Mega Man sub-series, Zero is probably the one I'd be most down to do. That and Legends. Because I don't have a whole lot of interest in doing most of the classic series. Not right now, at least. The only Mega Man X game I ever cared about was OGX. I feel like the X series goes downhill very fast after that. Like, X2 is a massive step down, X3 is a little better than that, X4 is fine, X5 is okay. X6 is also okay, X7 is the worst Mega Man game, and then X8's alright. But like, Zero ZX, you know, I'd be down to do those. Mega Man ZX Advent was my first Mega Man game. I mean, I guess technically the first Mega Man game I played was one of the Legends games, but I forget which one it was, and I didn't do much of it. Mega Man ZX is underrated. For more opinions on classic video game franchises, just type them in the chat. ZX claims ZX. Thanks, Teak. I feel like I know what that is, but I don't remember specifics of it. Clint, when are you going to stream Rockman 4 minus Infinity? Clint, when are you going to stream Mega Man Cross Street Fighter? Street Fighter Cross Mega Man? I think it's Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. So you're confirming an X7 playthrough? You did try Rockman 4 Minus Infinity, didn't you? What do you think of it? Indirectly saying never. I mean, I showed it a little on stream, but I didn't do well with it. Well, I'm not as skilled at classic Mega Man as you are. I say that, but like your streams were after you practice quite a bit. And I am very out of practice with anything that isn't Mega Man 1 or 2. Mega Man 5. Mega Man V. With the Star Droids. Is it Star Droids or Staroids? I forget. That's practice. I don't practice before streams. Partly because I don't have the time, partly because I cannot be bothered, and partly because I don't have the focus to do a lot of stuff outside streams. Just happen to be good at. I mean, some of it's like built up skill. You can't deny that. It's like I've got the built-up skill for certain elements of Castlevania. Boss weaknesses are like just memorization. It's where my problem with games post Mega Man 2 comes in, because I don't remember a lot of the boss weaknesses. I should have got the I meant to get the custom handgun. Damn it. So I'm gonna take a hit here. I think the hardest thing about Mega Man 3 is Doc Robot. Oh hey, legendary streamer Foxhound Cat just went live. Oh, there's a Castlevania thing. Thank you, Clint. Bitch. 11th century speak for stop being a bitch and kill your wife. I mean, to be fair, most of the Mega Man games do have that. Like the bosses in the Wily stages that have weird weaknesses that are hard to tell. Like it's not as bad in Mega Man 2 because like the Mecha Dragon will take the Metal Blade like everything else. And then the Guts Dozer is Quick Boomerang. And then like Wily Machine is just like Metal Blade again. Mega Man 7 is difficult mostly because it maintains the standard level of difficulty from previous Mega Man games, but it also doesn't have E-tanks. I feel like I'm blurry on camera. This autofocus pisses me off. But like, if I turn it off when I move around a little bit, like I'm just not in focus at that point. That was probably a bad idea. Yeah, I don't know. Alright. Let me grab this red herb. Yeah, Mega Man's fun, but I don't spend the time with it to get good enough at it. And back when I had the focus and time to do something like that, I was doing it with Castlevania. And you know what? I don't regret that decision. That decision, like, really paid off when, like, Simon and Richter came to Smash. Because, like I've said before, I love how my Castlevania strategies can absolutely work in Smash with Simon and Richter. It's great. Like, people cannot predict the axe throw arc. I love that. I imagine like the pros can and everything, but like they've managed to translate the axe throw like really well from Castlevania. So like, just based on Castlevania experience, I can throw the axe in Smash and be pretty good with it. And stuff like throwing the cross the wrong way and then jumping over it when it comes back. Which, again, is a legitimate Castlevania strategy I use. Good for bosses. Honestly, I really want to do Super Castlevania 4. Yes. Wait, no, not Super Castlevania 4. I've done that like twice on stream. Castlevania 64. Yes. Yes, I will. Is it a rough game? Yes. No! I still like it.
Get away!
It might be at least partly down to nostalgia. But I never beat it as a kid. Alright, while this is going on, I'm just gonna spare the camera for a second.
Ben! Can you still hear me? Come on, answer! Damn! I don't believe this. I almost got the story. Ben. Bitter irony. The chief of police, a co-conspirator. Get that scum. Make him pay. Hang in there, Ben.
Leon.
Where are you going, Ada?
To the chemical plant. I have a feeling that's where I'll find John.
Yeah.
Ada!
Oh.
Wait! Hey!
John.
Leon, are you still there? We're leaving.
Are you crazy? The streets are still crawling with zombies.
It'll be all right, trust me. We found a way to the sewer. Follow us later.
Claire! Claire! Wait!
We found a way at the sewer. We're not going to tell you what that way is. It's like with Leon A, Claire B. Leon messages, like radios Claire, is like, hey, we're leaving into the sewer. It's like we have access to the back of the parking lot. And it's like, okay, cool. And then Leon closes the manhole cover behind him. It's like, thanks, Leon. Why am I dropping frames? Is Steam secretly downloading something? I'll stop to that and hope that sorts it. Put you away. Get the other one. Oh, I did get it out, cool. I thought I'd messed up. Alright, let's go. Why am I dropping frames? See if this fixes it. No, the frames are still dropping. Might be that we've got no other option but to keep going for it. Hey, Amanda. One thing I do really like in OGRE2 is when it uses the continuity before you even know about it. It's like the first time you meet Birkin in the game is a scenario after this fight, and how does that fight start? He throws this pipe at you. And I think that's really cool. Like, you're not even going to know where that pipe came from. 4, 5, 6. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's go talk to Ada about that thing that got bent.
Ada!
So yeah, welcome on in, Manda. I don't know how I've done it, but I've disabled the second VMU display.
Reckless and stupid. Those zombies are everywhere. Not to mention that thing that got banned.
I was there, Leon. I know.
Look, Ada. As an officer, it's my job to look out for you. But we're not going to get through this alive if we don't work together. Okay?
All right. We'll do this your way for now.
Yeah, we're still dropping frames. It's frustrating. Just have to power through it and hope it gets better. Alright, so a couple of things to grab here. Aren't there 3 herbs in there? No, it's the other side that has the 3 herbs. Open the door. Head on down, grab the extra ammo that's down there. Always appreciate that. Shotgun ammo. This is usually the point. Usually the point where I can drop the handgun and start maining the shotgun. Let's see what the ammo situation's like. Yeah, that's probably fine. Small key, handgun bullets. Yeah, it should be good. We're gonna get 7 free shotgun shells in a few minutes anyway. A woman.
Ada! Heads up!
Leon, that woman was... I have to talk to her.
That woman. Her eyebrows. They were on fleek. Alright. So it looks like the stream might be doing better now. Hopefully it stays that way and it was just a rough patch. It's fine, this is one of the least interesting parts of the game anyway. There we go.
Don't move. You're the one who's with that cop, if I'm not mistaken. Identify yourself. Ada Wong. Ada Wong. I've heard that name before. Now I remember. One of the men from Chicago who came to assist the T-virus research used his girlfriend's name as his password. Ada and John, I believe. How did you know? Who are you?
The idea that John just went around telling everybody about his girlfriend and the fact that her name was his password is really,
What?
really bad.
John's dead. He became one of those zombies. My condolences. And although I regret this, you will be joining him shortly. I won't let anyone take the G-virus away from me.
It's like, hey John, why don't you stop telling everybody your password?
It's capable of creating the ultimate bioweapon. Its potential is even greater than that of the T-virus. Then that must mean the creature in the police department is... precisely my husband, William.
I never understood how they made this leap of logic.
Umbrella's fault. None of this would have happened if they hadn't tried to steal his research away from him. Where did you get that pendant? It looks exactly like the one I gave Sherry. She dropped it. I've been holding on to it for her. Liar! Give it back to me!
Dun 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 dun.
Too bad.
That gun should be useless now. Like, I don't have a picture just offhand to use as reference, but like, have you ever seen a gun that's been shot by another gun? It's only a flesh wound. No, it's not, your arm's off. It's been a while since I've watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Ada?
Ada. Ada. Ada, 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 dun 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 dun. I need to find if any of the streaming services has Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's a good movie. Like the 70s remake with Donald Sutherland, really good. The 70s were a really good time for that kind of thing. Like the 70s and 80s, great for horror remakes. I guess the 90s, not too bad as well. It's like that Night of the Living Dead remake isn't bad, and that was 1990. And Village of the Damned isn't bad with Christopher Reeve and Mark Hamill. It's a solid enough remake. Feels like good horror remakes just don't happen anymore. Like, what was the last good horror remake you guys like saw? That's an interesting choice, Clem. Teak. Teak. Interesting choice, Teak. Why is that? That's an interesting point of view there, Teak. I mean, I'll give the Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead is decent. Like, I'll definitely give that. I feel like they may set two different tones, though. Like, aside from the common thread of zombies in a mall, like, they're different enough. Hey, ninja. You know what? You are not wrong. You are not wrong, ninja.
Ada!
Did you guys see Army of the Dead?
This bullet wound isn't making things any easier.
Quiet, Leon. I'll patch you up.
It had Chris Sarandon in it.
That's two I owe you.
Don't mention it.
That feels like a bad idea.
John's dead.
What?
Never mind. Let's just get out of here. The sooner the better.
That's Land of the Dead. Army of the Dead was the recent Netflix one. Written, produced, and directed by Zack Snyder. Which is, like, one of the main things I hold up is, like, for fuck's sake, stop letting Zack Snyder write movies. Because he's really not good at it. Like, let him direct movies, he's great as a visionary director. Don't let him write things, though. I thought it was awful. I thought it was awful. Like, especially in an era where zombie movies have had to be... Zombie movies have had to get creative. Because of, like, just the oversaturation of zombie movies. Like, they've really had to get creative. And then Army of the Dead comes along and has no idea what it wants to do. Sets up ideas with the zombies that it never follows through on. That, honestly, if you think about it, it makes it feel kind of like a weird sequel to I Am Legend. That spider's a lot closer than it usually is. Is this going to be one of those legendary playthroughs where Ada gets poisoned? Yes, it is. Perfect. Yeah, like I say, Zack Snyder, when he's just directing and maybe having a hand in the cinematography, great. When he's writing stuff, he is not good at it. Batman v Superman's a good example of that. It's a good-looking movie. It's just not a good movie. And then Zack Snyder's Justice League really just exemplified that fact. Again, a good-looking movie, but it's not a good movie. And there are decisions in there that are very questionable. And I wish people would stop referring to the DC movie universe as the Snyderverse, because it's not good. But yeah, I don't know. Like Watchmen. I don't hate Watchmen as a movie. I think it's as good of an adaptation as we were ever going to get. And again, it looks fantastic. The visual design of that movie, phenomenal. Beautifully superficial. That's a fun way of putting it, Teak. It definitely misses the point of a lot of the themes. It carries a lot of the beats, but not a lot of the meaning. Adapted from Dave Gibbons' graphic. I mean, isn't that basically what it says? Because Alan Moore won't let his name be on any of the adaptations of his work anymore.
We finally arrived. There must be something hidden here.
To me, though, Alan Moore as a writer has always been kind of overrated. Not bad, just like overrated. Mostly because, like, growing up, the main thing you heard with a lot of his stuff was like, oh yeah, this is the some of the best stuff ever in this genre. And it's like, okay, Watchmen, really good. Can't deny that. But then a lot of the other stuff, V for Vendetta, is that a good book? I really don't rate League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The Killing Joke, I have always thought is one of the most overrated Batman stories. I don't think it's particularly good. It's been a while since I've read V for Vendetta, I'll be honest with you. I will say, like, my favourite Alan Moore work, though, is easily For the Man Who Has Everything. See, League is an interesting concept, but then it went on. Like, the idea of, like, pulp heroes? Sure, cool. Interesting enough idea. It should have been like a one or two volume series. Like, the longer the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen goes, the worse it gets. it's a novel idea that runs way past its course. Yeah, For the Man Who Has Everything is really good. And at some point, I probably should sit down and read his run on Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
How long did Alan Moore work on Swamp Thing? Because I feel like that's the only time, other than League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where he did like an ongoing thing. Because like Watchmen was like always a limited series. Same with V for Vendetta. The Killing Joke's one story. For the Man Who Has Everything, I think, was like one issue. You know who is a character guy?
Hear me. Come on.
Rob
step out of
Liefeld. It's a shame it's just one character that he kept writing and drawing for years. The character had many different names, but it was always just one character. Crazy thing with Rob Liefeld of like, oh yeah, Rob Liefeld gets to like live off stuff like Deadpool and Cable and like the popularity of those characters and stuff like Shatterstar. It's like, yeah, he technically created them, but he's not the reason that any of them are popular. All of them were popular because of what writers did after him. Awesome. Yeah, Rob Liefeld's just like... There's a really fun... I think it's like an episode of something Stan Lee was doing back in like the early 90s or something.
Hey, take it easy.
And, like Stan Lee
We're inside
like
Umbrella's secret lab. I'll go find
lets
some
artists
people
create characters that he
rest
describes and shit.
But I'll only slow you down with these
And there's
intros.
one episode with Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane creating a character, and Stan Lee gives them the name
I
Overkill.
told you, it's my job to look after you.
But you'll be in danger if you stay with me. I know I've only known you for a short period
And so they're
of
drawing
time,
this character,
but I
and the end result is every character they've ever created.
I know I'm not capable of caring about anyone,
And it's crazy.
but I don't want to lose you.
We're leaving this
And
place.
there's also the thought that Stan Lee is
I'll be
like
right
just
back.
subtly taking the piss out of them. You've missed most of the stream, Clem. We've been talking about comic books. Yeah, it's kind of fascinating. Like, if you've never seen that, look it up, because it's pretty interesting. The character that they created as well later appeared in one of their series that they were doing with Image Comics, but they changed the name from Overkill to Overkill. And it was literally the same character. But like, it had all the typical Rob Liefeld designs. Like the overly huge shoulder pads, the bandoliers all over the goddamn place. Very small, if like just non-existent eyes. The feet were terrible. Standing in a wide pose. Because like those are the characters that Rob Liefeld drew. Comic history is an interesting thing. Like, the same is true of, like, any industry that's been going long enough. The history of it can be absolutely fascinating. And comic history is, like, very much not wholesome. Like the story of Bob Kane, how he stole credit for most of his life. The Bob Kane thing is absolutely crazy. Like, not even so much that he stole credit, but that even now, decades after his death, his contract is still active, which prevents DC from properly crediting Bill Finger. Like, that's crazy. Oh yeah, share the story with us, Teak. Somebody who worked under Kane at the time, so how old would they have been? That's a weird story. You say Kane's wife was Elizabeth Slater? She appeared in a couple of the three of the Batman movies at least. It's like she's in Batman Returns as a random member of the crowd talking about the Penguin. And then in Forever and Robin, she's a character called Gossip Gertie, who has a slightly more prominent role. But like the Bob Kane thing, man, absolutely ridiculous. And like even now, decades after his death, something about his contract is active so that he is like credited as the sole creator or the primary creator of Batman. So it's like, oh yeah, no, Superman created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Spider-Man created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. I was trying to think like what his first name was. You bastard. There we go. Spider-Man, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And like, there are various other examples where characters are often created by a writer and an artist. And with Bob Kane, it was for like, decades. Batman created by Bob Kane. And in recent years, and like very recent, I think the first movie to actually credit Bill Finger in any way was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So like, you know just how recent it was. They've started crediting it as Bob Kane with Bill Finger. Because even now, decades after his death, there is something in the contract that prevents them from properly crediting Bill Finger. Which is absolutely crazy. Bob Kane claimed sole credit for creating Batman and spent decades denying Bill Finger ever had anything to do with it. And Bill Finger died penniless and alone, and I think may not even have a grave. Or like, his grave is unmarked. And then, like, 15 years after his death, Bob Kane's like, yeah, maybe I should have let him have some credit. It's like, yeah, it's a fucking easy thing to say when he's been dead for 15 years. Although the whole idea of that ties back into Rob Liefeld and the Image Comics thing, which itself is an interesting piece of comic history. Image Comics was absolutely a failure for various reasons, but the idea was reasonable behind it. Like, writers and artists like striking out from Marvel and DC to make their own independent comic book brand. Because they were tired of being mistreated and like not getting credit for their work, not being paid well. So they strike out on their own and decide to make their own comics, and the most notable thing it led to was Spawn. Which itself is interesting because Todd McFarlane, creator of Spawn, ran out of ideas very quickly. And within the first 10 issues was how it was recruiting other writers. You know, that's actually kind of touching to hear, Teak. Yeah, and Todd McFarlane, like, starts recruiting other writers to write for Spawn. One of whom is Neil Gaiman, who created several elements for Spawn that were quite popularly received, like Angela, Cogliostro, and Medieval Spawn. And then, in a shocking twist of irony, Todd McFarlane refused to credit him for those creations or pay him royalties on their use. and they ended up in court. And the courts ruled that they were an equal part creation between Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman, and Todd McFarlane owed Neil Gaiman money for it. And so there's the really funny thing with that, of the character Angela is owned by DC now, I think? Or Marvel? Like, Neil Gaiman sold that character. He got full rights to that character and then sold them to one of the companies. It was Marvel, yeah. I was thinking, like, DC Darkseid's daughter, but like, that's a completely different thing. Odin's daughter. She's Odin's daughter, indeed, in Marvel. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But like that whole story makes you lose any interest or sympathy in Todd McFarlane as like an overworked, underpaid creator when he immediately just starts turning around and trying to pull the same shit, if not worse, that he left the companies for. As I say, just comic book history can be absolutely fascinating. Pick a creator, like, look at their works throughout the years. At this point, a lot of the more noted creators have been around for decades at this point. Jim Lee's an interesting example. He's like one of the like big higher-ups at DC now. And like he's known for his absolutely fantastic artwork in comics. Like stuff like his work on Batman Hush, which looks phenomenal. The best thing about All-Star Batman and Robin, the artwork for it. But like early in his career, Jim Lee was basically a Rob Liefeld imitator. His early work was essentially trying to do Rob Liefeld, which isn't his fault, because it was the popular style of the time. Which, like, the 90s are referred to as the Dark Age of comics for several reasons. One of which being that Rob Liefeld's style was popular enough that a lot of people imitated it. It's a much better Rob Liefeld than Rob Liefeld. I think it helps that Jim Lee can actually draw. I don't need this keycard. The Sonic comics is kind of interesting, but it's something that, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a huge amount of knowledge of. Largely because I never really read them. And I have a mild interest in them, but not enough of an interest to go through like 300 fucking issues. It's like with, I have DC Universe Infinite now, so I can just read DC comics whenever. And like, so goddamn many. That is, if you're gonna read the comics, that is such a good deal. And it's like I'm reading storylines. I'm not reading issues. I'm reading storylines. It's the better way to do it. I think I have Emperor Joker queued up next to read. Yeah, it's crazy they've been going for so long. I don't think they are the longest running. I think the longest running is technically Sonic the Comic, which is a UK-based Sonic the Hedgehog comic. Although it'd be worth double-checking that, because I'm not entirely sure. But I think Sonic the Comic has been running longer than Archie's. You know what I enjoyed when I was younger? Simpsons comics. They were fun. Sonic the Comic ended in 2000. Oh, there you go. This is why you double check everything that I tell you. Can you not just say hello like a normal person?
Husband. I know what you're looking for. You came for the G-Virus, didn't
I love that the whole thing with this is like, she meets Leon here, and it's like, you murdered my husband, and then she runs away, and then goes and finds Claire, and is like, you murdered my husband, and it's like, what?
You really don't know anything, do you?
Yeah, always fact check anything you hear on the internet, especially if it's from me.
Sent here by the agency. The only reason why she came here is to obtain the G-Virus.
That's a lie.
No, it's the truth. I discovered this when I did a background check on her. She specifically got close to John and became his girlfriend to get information about Umbrella.
That can't be. I know her. Ada wouldn't do something like that.
If you don't want to believe it, I don't really care. You're about to die anyway.
Where did you come from? I appreciate that he slows down as he gets closer to you. I don't think we have any more liquors to deal with. Which means with no more liquors, I'm comfortable swapping the shotgun out for the Magnum. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, I'm due to start reading Emperor Joker next, I think. Been going through quite a few of the older storylines, and like, fuck, a lot of them are terrible. I say older, like a bunch of the 90s ones. Like Underworld Unleashed was just like worthless. The final night was mildly interesting, but mostly just because it ends with Hal Jordan dying. Which isn't a spoiler at this point, because it happened like 30 years ago. And also, he came back.
Ada! Ada!
Leon, please, escape.
No. We're a team. I can't just leave you behind.
Yeah, I don't know.
A woman who fell in love with you. Nothing more.
Yeah, that reminds me. I ended up switching around the follower goal games. Because the original intention was at 200 followers we do SMT 1 and 2. But I do want to wait for Chance to be available for that, because Chance is down for that.
Ada.
So, with us being like so perpetually close to hitting 200, it could happen at any moment. I decided to switch them around. So I think Breath of Fire 1 and 2 are currently the 200 follower goal games.
I will always remember you. Goodbye.
That should be fun. I've never done Breath of Fire 1 and 2 before. That's a big meaty paw.
Leon, you made it.
Claire, is that you? Where are you?
On the monitor. But never mind that right now. Leon, you have to go back and get Sherry for me. I
Who?
left her in the security office. Please, you must save her.
Wait a second. What are you gonna do? Where are you going?
I still have a few loose ends to take care of. I'm counting on you.
Hello? Claire, are you there? Claire! The security office?
So Alison Court was like a Canadian actress slash voice actress. Like before this, she was Jubilee in the X-Men cartoon. She had a role, like she was the main character on a Canadian children's series where she played a clown. And like I find it really interesting to consider that Alison Court went from that to voicing Claire Redfield to being in charge of localization efforts. Somehow. It's like, it's a known fact that Alison Court is the reason why the Mavericks in Mega Man X5 were named after Guns N' Roses.
All employees proceed to the platform.
It's kind of crazy.
All employees.
I wonder how that ended up happening.
All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
Sherry? I've come to get you out of here. Claire is waiting for you.
All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
Well, that's the thing, like, it's weird to think that Alison Court ended up just, like, working at Capcom.
To the bottom platform.
You'd think the voice actor thing would be like a third-party contract.
All employees proceed to the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
Like, the only other example of a voice actor being related to localization I can think of is Leslie Swan. Being the voice of Peach in Super Mario 64. But she was already a localizer for Nintendo at that point. And it felt more like a case of like, oh yeah, we've got voice lines for Peach. Anybody want to do it?
Employees proceed to the bottom platform.
Because like you can find Leslie Swan's name in a lot of localization credits for a lot of Nintendo stuff. Like for me personally, the place I always notice it is in Metroid Fusion's
Just rest
credits.
here for now. Claire should be back soon.
All employees proceed to the bottom platform. 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 All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
One thing I do really appreciate about Super Mario 64 DS though is they brought Leslie Swan back to voice Peach again. Which is cool because like they had a different voice actor for Peach at that point. I think it Mario 64 DS was 2004, I think. At that point, I think Peach's voice actress was Jen Taylor, who was also the voice of Cortana.
All employees proceed to the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
Alright, here we go. So like Resident Evil 1 with the battery creating the making sure you have the space for the signal flare to make sure you have the space for the rocket launcher. Those two plugs exist so you have space for the rocket launcher for this fight. So it's not going to be a case of you have no space and you can't finish the fight.
Here, use this!
Ada, is that you? Ada!
Game over. I mean, I wouldn't call it idiot proof on your first time. Because, like, you wouldn't know this is coming, you wouldn't know that the rocket launcher is going to take up 2 spaces. At this point, you probably wouldn't even know that the rocket launcher is coming. Thank you, Clem. It's good design. I like it. I feel like Code Veronica might not have that same level of design. I don't think there's any inventory requirements beforehand to make sure you have the space for the linear launcher. It doesn't matter in 3 because there's no item you pick up to finish the final boss. And I think the same is true in 0. Like, both those games, the Magnum that is used to finish the final boss is picked up in cutscene. Hey, how you doing, Star? I mean, somebody might be low on healing items and might have just brought all the weapons.
All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
Any situation's possible. Now, let's do this. Yeah. Yes. No. No, I didn't mention it at all. It's like 3 things. Yeah, but you might not survive that long. And who knows how much ammo you might have? 9 things, ooh. The cord and which window you put it in. The items in the armory locker. Marvin. That's 3 things.
Sherry's unconscious.
I have the antidote.
The costume's an interesting point. We haven't seen Claire yet, outside of the FMV.
Claire, what's happened?
Not now.
You're right, that is the player's problem, but a good designer will prevent that from occurring. Which is what they do here and in RE1.
Claire? Where am I?
It worked!
Oh,
Yeah,
Sherry.
that's fair, Star. That is actually a good point.
Thanks, Claire.
It's over.
So that's like 5.
I have to find my brother.
You're right. This is just the beginning.
You know what? That's actually fair.
Goodbye,
6.
Ada. What was that?
Yeah, there's Claire in the alternate costume.
Warning. Biohazardous outbreak imminent. The
Yeah, whether
emergency
Brad's
system
there or
will
not
activate.
is determined by his
This train
scenario,
will
you're right.
detonate. Repeat, this train will
Was
detonate.
it 7?
What's wrong?
I don't know. The door won't open.
I do like that when you beat Birkin for the last time in a scenario, you can see him starting to take this form. Like, I like that as a thing that happens. It's just another element of, like, how well designed RE2 is in terms of, like, continuity progression. So, the most important thing about this fight is don't put your dick in that. Clem, get out of here with your Parasite Eve references that I can't understand, because that game wasn't released in this country. This fight's probably quicker with the standard Magnum, because it fires faster. It's something that I could do with testing, but I thought I've been having recently. Hey, welcome to the stream, Stom. Zombie Reggae Chris. Just in time for the end of RE2. That was close. I'll do it eventually, don't rush me. Alright, and that's that. Yeah, a thought I've been having lately is I need to get around to testing. is whether or not the custom Magnum is actually worth having at all. Like, going out you... It's not a huge going out of your way thing. The culture room's a fair point. 8 things. You've got 8 things, Star. Because, like, the Magnum's powerful enough. I think the Magnum takes down Mr. X in the same number of shots as the custom Magnum. I'd need to double check that.
Leon, where are you?
It's well played, Star.
Wonderful.
Sherry? What are
Yeah, welcome to the stream, Zombie Reggae Chris.
train right
We're just in the middle of our 10 years of Resident Evil series.
right here.
We just looked it up. Yeah, that's fair. We're just in the middle of our 10 years of Resident Evil series, where we're playing every Resident Evil game released between 1996 and 2006.
Maybe
This is game number 2.
Leon! Ah!
I mean, the remake is inferior for several reasons.
Push the switch over there.
Got it!
But, yeah, I have my thought that the custom Magnum may be absolutely worthless,
Finally, the exit.
and may actually be detrimental,
I'm okay.
Where's Claire?
because of the recoil and the fire
Right
rate.
here. I guess we all know. They just won't quit. Come on, we have to get out of here. Run!
Clem, don't you want to stick around and find out what the time and ranking were? I mean, I joke about the ranking because, like, I've never streamed this and got less than an A.
So, it's finally over.
But thanks for joining us, Clem. You take care of yourself. Can we get a shout out for Clem, please?
No worse than you, Claire.
Come on. Time to leave.
Now? What's wrong?
There's
Something
cool stuff.
following us?
We have
At this point, I try to have a save available for both B
Go.
scenarios,
Hey,
just so that I can do B
it's
without
up
having to
us
play A.
Take out Umbrella.
Thank you, Teak. That's an interesting point, Star. Oh wow, it's Signer. Signer's actually turned up to a stream. It's an interesting thought, because we do see CG renders of Ada. Just like we see CG renders of Chief Irons. But he's never in a scene, CG cutscene. Being here all the time. You weren't here yesterday, don't lie to me. Yeah, Clem is currently playing through Super Mario Sunshine. No, he's not. He's playing through Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, which he is due to finish next week. Take a look. Cool stuff. Cool people, Clem. Clem is cool people. Oh, you heard him. Santa was always here since the world's been turning. Didn't have time to do Ada CG scenes. That's actually, you know, thinking about that. There is one scene where Ada could appear in CG. In Leon A when she's talking with Annette. Because Annette's in CG in that scene. And the scene is very... You pay attention to the environment. Annette in that scene is clearly in the upper area of that room, rather than the lower area where she has that scene with Claire. But Ada's voice is heard over that, but you don't see Ada herself. Never really thought about that, that's a fair point. Hideki Kamiya. We've got more games of his to play. I don't know, like, when I'll ever do Super Mario RPG on my stream. I'm more likely to do Paper Mario than Super Mario RPG. Alright, so what's the ranking? It's A. What's the time? Did I get sub 135? Damn. Oh well. The round numbers are a surprise. You rarely ever see, like, on the dot for a second. Thank you, Zombie Reggae Chris. I've done this game often enough now that, like, getting the A rank's just standard. RE3 is the trouble in getting an A rank. Because that game takes points off you just for healing. But with this, it's simple enough because the specific things that remove points that contribute to your grade are saving, using first aid sprays, and time. And I can do the game fast enough, I can do it without saving, and there are enough healing items in the game that aren't first aid sprays that that's not really a problem. I like this artwork. Not yet, Star. I'm sure there's supposed to be audio playing over this. What we're gonna do is, like, this is the end of the stream. Honk was in a translation of error of Hank. It's interesting. Interesting thought. So this is the end of the stream, pretty much. Although, one thing that's really cool about Dreamcast version is the gallery. One thing about this is each disc has different images. I think you get different... I think you get different artwork on... I know you get different artwork on Claire's disc. I think you unlock it for doing Leon A, Claire B. But I'm not entirely sure. Human Unit Never Killed is something I've never heard before. But yeah, that's going to be it for RE2 today. We'll be back, I'm not sure, later in the week. With more RE2, we'll be doing Leon A, and then we'll do Claire B after that, and then we'll wrap up RE2 with the fourth Survivor. And then after that, we'll be moving on to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Thank you, Zombie Reggae Chris. This is Dreamcast emulation, but we are playing the Dreamcast version. No, did you ask that already, Star? Somebody asked that. Yeah, the answer is no. We're going to do RE3 once. And then after RE3 will be Resident Evil Survivor. And then Code Veronica, then Survivor 2 Code Veronica. I think Gaiden came out after Survivor 2. And then Remake, Zero, then Outbreak, then Dead Aim, then Outbreak File 2, then 4. And then Deadly Silence, and that's your 10 years of Resident Evil. My choices are probably just going to be the standard ones. Fight the monster just to get Brad's card. Hide in the kitchen, because that counts as a Nemesis kill, and I can... If I kill Nemesis in the police station, which is the easiest place to kill him early, then doing that I can just get the Special Eagle. We're gonna kill Nikolai, because this is a stream where we always kill Nikolai. Unless we like push Nemesis off the bridge. Like, we like to kill Nikolai. But yeah, I do have this on Dreamcast. I've played it off Dreamcast before. We're currently doing emulation just for convenience. And it is convenient. If you have the option, get Resident Evil 2 and 3 on Dreamcast. They are the best console versions. I say that as somebody who's played all the console versions on actual hardware. Yes, I'm gonna kill Nickelback. Yeah, so look forward to all of those. Like you say, Dead Aim's gonna be fun. Gaiden, though. Nobody I follow streams Gaiden. The only person I follow who's ever streamed Gaiden was Ali. That one time she streamed Resident Evil Gaiden, because somehow we talked her into it. Which was, it was good, like she gave that a solid try. I cannot complain at that. I've done Survivor 2 before on stream. One of the clips I have is from my last playthrough. I think she did Gaiden like once and she didn't finish it. I don't follow Borkba Soup. I don't follow like big streamers. Mostly because for me a lot of the enjoyment I get out of streams is interaction. And with big streamers the chat is too packed for that kind of thing. So I don't follow big streamers because of that. I follow smaller streamers. And also, it's always a nice feeling when you jump into a smaller streamer's stream and like, oh hey, there's somebody here. And it's like, yes there is. I am absolutely here for this. Like, people appreciate that, and it's always a nice thing to do. But yeah, Gaiden should be interesting. Coming up with a setup for that will be interesting. If I can avoid using RetroArch for that, that'll be nice. But yeah, we should be back tomorrow, but we won't be doing Resident Evil. We'll be doing probably a one-off stream. And then don't forget, next Sunday is when I'll be starting the critical discussion stream of Final Fantasy VI with Klim, where we'll be playing through all of Final Fantasy VI, and Klim will be telling us why he hates it. So look forward to that. Also, decided yesterday, after we finish the 10 years of Resident Evil, we will be doing Metal Gear Solid 3. So please look forward to that, it should be fun. And currently the newest point reward in the point redemptions is the History of Stylish Action, which is a marathon similar to this one, where we'll be going through everything I consider to be a stylish action game of any kind. Which means the entire Devil May Cry series, the Bayonetta games, most of what Platinum has done. That's going to include Astral Chain, and Astral Chain is a long game. That is currently sitting at 150,000 points. Largely because that's a lot of games. Like, you redeem that, you're getting at least like 15 games. And that's not something that'll be done in a month. So yeah. Anybody wants to save up the points to redeem that, you are more than welcome to. Let's see, is anybody online? Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a shout out to Cat rather than raid Cat, because I always feel obligated to stick around. And I really shouldn't be doing that right now. It's a politeness thing. I go there and I feel like I have to stick around for a little bit to be polite. And it's just kind of awkward for me. Because I really should be getting ready to like settle down for bed now. But yeah, check out Kat. She's currently live streaming Yakuza Kiwami. I think she's playing through the entire series on Saturdays. Definitely check her out. Foxhound Cat is a friend of the stream. I've streamed with her. She's cool people. We did Resident Evil 6 together. She is cool people. She's a lot of fun. Definitely check her out as she's playing through Yakuza Kiwami. I think it's her first playthrough. So if you're going to go over, be nice and don't spoil things. But that's going to do it for us for today. I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I always appreciate the support. Big special thank you to the chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. We had quite a few people in the chat today. Clem, Teak, Star, Manda, Cat, Ninja made a rare appearance. Signer made a rarer appearance. Zombie Reggae Chris for the follow. Was there anybody else? I feel like I said all of these people. Yeah. Did I say Kira? Kira. If I didn't mention you, I do apologise, but you were very much appreciated. Thank you so much for being here. The chat is always the best part of the stream. Like I said, we're back tomorrow. Should be about 8 PM. British summertime. We're still on. Which, for Americans, is 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. If you want to work it out off that. With something, with a one-off of something, I don't know. Maybe I'll do Link to the Past. It's been a while. Maybe I will do Link to the Past. It has been a while. But yeah, that's going to do it. So, there's nothing else to say except thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day. And take care. We'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.
I wanna take